So the first is you write the equation, the generalized equation. Guys, steps are very important. If you don't want to write them, it's up to you. At the end of the day, it's your mark, not mine, right? But if you make a mistake, right, and if you don't have all the steps, I can't give you part marks then, right? You know what I mean? If you're trying to mix things and then try to get to the answer as fast as you can, I can't give you part marks if I don't see something right, you know? And that's why writing the steps is very important. So replacing h and k. So instead of h, I'm going to replace it with a 5. And instead of k, it's going to be -7. Then my next step is I want to use the x and the y. Replace x and y. So 1 equals a. 3 minus 5 squared, take away 7. Now I have to solve for a. To solve for a, I have to isolate, right? So what's the first thing is I have to get rid of that 3 minus 5 inside the bracket. So it's going to be -2 squared. -2 squared is 4. Bring the -7 over, it becomes a +7. Now if you skip a couple of steps here, like if you just write 8 equals 4a right away and you don't write 1 plus 7, it's okay, as long as you know what you're doing, okay? And then now to isolate for a, you have to divide by 4, right? So I have to bring that 4 over and divide by 4. So a divided by 4 is 2. So a is 2. Okay? Now, the last step is you have to write the whole equation all together. So this is your final answer. Okay? Are we okay with that? All right. Now we can do the same thing if we are given a graph and not just they gave us points. So if they gave you a graph and they tell you to find the equation of the graph, yes.
So we need that part to equal a.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so above
you have
that,
to solve for a.
Okay, above that, where did you get the 4? Or what is that under the 8?
That's 8 divided by 4.
Oh, okay, 8 divided by 4.
Because I have to bring that 4 over and it becomes division.
Oh, so you're
right?
bringing it all over to complete the question and writing it out again.
That's right. Okay? Now, so this example, you determine the equation of the quadratic relation in the graph provided. So it's exactly the same question, but they give you a graph instead of the points, right? So you have to locate the points. What's the most important point that you have to locate?
Vertex.
The vertex, which is where? -1 and 3. It's right here, right? So that's your vertex. Now, other than the vertex, what do you need?
Your x and y.
And x and y. Any other point on the graph. Okay? So any other point, you can look for a point that is very clear. Now, but I've already given you a clear point, which is 0, 2. Okay? But any other clear point, I don't see any other clear points. I see this one. This is a clear point. But I've already given you this one, so why do you have to think? Okay? It's already given to you. So, the vertex and the point. So what do I write first? Y equals what? A.
Bracket x, subtract h, 2, plus a. She knows what I mean, bro. She knows what I mean. I should have said exponent, but she knows what I mean.
Good. Now what else do I have to do?
Make another.
Put the values of
vertex
and h and k, right? So this is h, and this is k. So if I have a negative and a negative, what happens?
Positive.
So that's a +1, right?
So you
And
change it right when you're doing it? Like
yeah, you can change it right when you do. And remember when we used to look at this and we say the vertex is -1. Remember that? We used to say it's opposite to what you see. And then what would it be for the k?
1.
Plus-
I mean, 3.
Plus 3.
3. Okay? Okay? Now, after that, what do I do? X and Y, plug it in. So inside of Y, what do I plug in? 2 instead of X.
0.
Again, brackets first, so that's 1 squared plus 3. 1 squared is 1, right? So technically I don't have to write it 1A or A, it's the same thing. Right? What do I have to do? Bring the 3 over, becomes a -3. So that's -1 equals to A. And the equation is -1. You can put the 1, you don't have to. X plus 1 squared plus 3 and done. Okay? It's a matter of following the steps and doing your math correct. Okay? Now, when you're doing this, something like this, when you find the value of A, what does the value of A of -1 tells you? It's a reflection, right? Reflection means it has to open which way? Down. Does your graph open down?
Yeah.
So is your answer correct? Pretty much what you can see? It is, right? Because you can see that your A value is negative, which means it's a reflection, and your graph is reflected. So it kind of makes sense, okay? Always ask yourself these questions. Does my answer make sense? If you can, right? If you can find it. Okay, so
Just go up a little bit so I get the final answer of the last one.
Yep.
So we have to write the final answer out like that, right?
This final answer you must write.